In order to learn data engineering, two primary skills you need to have. One is SQL, one is Python. And with respect to Python, we have seen what is this Python, why we are learning this language, what is the importance that is given to this language. We have also seen a couple of slides on history. Now, at last, we stopped the Friday's class with installation, right? I hope everyone has installed Anaconda. Anaconda is a very straightforward installation that you can do it for working with your Python. Okay, straightforward. It comes with complete packages, libraries. It comes with everything. You just need to make sure that you install properly and you will be able to see the Jupyter notebook. Okay, now here if you see, you'll have something called Anaconda Navigator. Okay, you will see something called Anaconda Navigator. You need not open this Anaconda Navigator directly. Also you will be able to work with Jupyter notebook. So what you need to do is just go here, just type Jupyter notebook, this Jupyter notebook is within the Anaconda prompt and you will be able to get this. Just open this, there will be one small prompt that will come and you will be able to see this. Okay, you'll be able to see this. Very simple. Go to the new and go to the Python 3 and automatically you will be able to get this. Okay, so these are the screen that you will get. Now this is where we will be start writing our code. For all of the data engineering classes, most of the transformations we'll be doing here. Please keep an eye on the notebook. This is how it will be in the last as well. When we go to a Databricks that we do a project, the project also will be built with the help of this notebook only. Okay, very easy. So it's nothing that you need to put efforts to running it or for writing a code. Nothing. It's very simple. It's like a 2-line notebook you will have. You would have seen in the past in your school days. It's like we have a 4-line book and 2-line book. Like it's like a 2-line book. Okay. If you click, please, if you click this plus plus plus, right? It gives you a 2-line box. So we have to go and write the code. Okay. Now we have already wrote a simple print statement. A simple print statement. Now what we are going to do, we are going to learn one concept. And the concept name that what we are going to learn will be, I will go and rename this Python variables session 2. You can also have the date 22/07/14. Okay. Now what you can do is, this is actually a notebook. Sorry, should be 2024. Yeah, so this will become like a notes. So please try to name it properly so that you can go back and revise anytime. Whatever we are practicing on the daily basis, we will be giving this as a heading. So please make sure that you do this so that you will also get used to it. Whatever we do, you will be able to understand. Okay. Now, in the last class, we wrote a simple print statement. Okay. So we wrote a simple print statement and there is a run command here. Just enter this, you will be able to execute it. Okay. There are some shortcuts as well, which I'll be telling going forward. But at this point of time, we have a command. There it is. We call it as a run command. In the run command, we should be able to see it. Okay. Now, just like this, now what I will do is, I will write one more command. Okay. I write one more statement and we will try to execute this. Now, if I run this, now it will not work. Now, that's nothing difference here, right? The line number 1 and line number 2 both are same, but one is working and one is not working. Can anyone find the difference? What is wrong?
print
Capital P.
P is capital in the second cell.
Here, P is a small letter and P is a capital letter here. So one thing we need to figure out is this words which are coming in green color, the words which are coming in green color, this green color words are actually called keywords. Keywords means already it's been defined by Python. If someone is entering this, you have to do this work. So like this, we see that the print statement which we have written, if it's a small letter, it will work, but if it's a capital, it will not work. Okay. Now, if I go and enter like this also, it will not work. Sensitive. Okay. And the second thing is you will have set of predefined keywords. Okay. Now, I'll show you another proof. I'll show you another proof. A equal to 20. Okay, A equal to 20. That means I'm assigning some value to a value. Now what I'll do, I'll go and say print A. I'll say print A, you'll be able to see the 20. Okay, but if I go and give print of A, it will not work. It will say that, boss, you're not at all defined A. So here you need to understand that there is a difference between small a and capital A. Another thing which you need to remember, whenever you are assigning some value, okay, that means this 20, I am going to use it going forward. I'm going to use this going forward. So I am going to assign this to a variable. Now we are going to the first topic, that is variables. Okay, so we are going to talk about the first topic, which is nothing but variables. Now let's see what is this variables. Variable is something which is useful for future values. Okay, so let's define what is variable. As I said, use this notebook for notes. You write your own notes. Okay, variables. So let's write the notes about variables. So what is variables? Variables are placeholders. Variables are placeholders. Store it and it is useful for further purpose. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to assign 20 to a variable called A. This A, what will happen? It will keep on holding this 20 as long as I flush it out, as long as I restart the session, this 20 will be stored in A. Okay. Now, why it is useful? Definitely in future, if I want to go and do any of the transformations, I can make use of this variable. I need not give always 20, 40, 60. It will be very useful in the real time. Okay. Now, let me tell you why. B equal to 10. So A equal to 20, B equal to 10 means this 20 will be assigned to A, 10 will be assigned to B, and now I need to calculate the sum. It's very easy. C equal to A plus B. Now here you need not give 20 and 10. You just give A plus B and automatically that calculation would be there. Okay, that calculation will be there. Now that means here I can assign it and I can use that variable. So C equal to, you need not give 20 plus 10. You can directly give A plus B. Now let's make it 30 and let's make this 20. And now if I write C equal to A plus B, and now if I write print of C, now you'll be able to see 50, right? So that means what happens? As itself, the name says variable, it can vary. Okay, the moment you keep on assigning the new values, the old value will be flushed out. Okay, so the second point about the variables is, please do remember Python itself is a case sensitive. So variables are also case sensitive. That means you write C equal to A plus B and you cannot print capital C. That will not work. you have to use the small c only, right? So that is why I'm saying your variables are case sensitive. And I can also say that variables, as the name says, it can vary. Okay, we can overwrite it. First, I'll give a equal to 30. Next, I'll give a equal to 40. Next, I'll give a equal to 50. The latest value will go and sit on that particular variable. Okay, so all good now, right? So variables are the placeholders. Why it is useful? Definitely yes. If I'm assigning today, tomorrow I have to use it for some purpose, I can go and use it. So I'm defining a equal to 50. That 50 value will be there in that a unless and until I flush it out. Okay, so as I said, it is a case sensitive and you can overwrite it any point of time. Okay, now what I'm going to do now, let's start working out few things, and let's figure out what is possible by using variables, what is not possible by using these variables. Okay, now I don't want this naming convention. It's not that clear. What is this A? What is this B? What is this C? Right? I'm not okay with that. Okay. Now I want to make sure the names are good for understanding. Okay. After this class, I have meeting with Mahesh. He will ask me first question, how many students were present in the class? So I need to store that value, right? So I'll say the number of students who attended class is 75, right? I will store it as 75, but I don't like this A. What is this A, B, C, D? Right? A, B, C, D is all variables, right? So let's have some naming conventions. Let's have some naming conventions. How do you want to name? Okay. How do you want to name? Now, I will not give as A, I will give as total students. Can I say this is much better than the A value? A could be anything, but here I am understanding, it's a human understanding, it's a high level language, right? So if I give this, it is clearly understandable that the number of total students who attended this is 75. Okay, now this is fine, right? Now I will say this is okay for me. This is okay for me. Okay, and now I'll give another name, students 75. Now this is also okay to me. This looks good. There is nothing wrong here. This is also good. I'll give this. This is also good. This is also okay for me. Okay, I don't have any problem. I'll give this. This is also okay for me, right? This is also okay for me. No problem. All good. Okay, so all these are good for me. Now this is also okay for me. Okay, but let's say what is not okay for me. I'll tell you. I'll say which is not okay for me. Not okay is, okay, this is not okay for me. If you observe, total students, total students, TS, total students, underscore, everything is fine. The only one thing which I am not okay in naming a variable is the last one. Tell me, what is the difference that you see?
Space.
Space.
Any better word?
Special character.
No, this is also special character. It is accepting. What is wrong with the last one?
It's a two different word.
Space between character.
I can simply say that your variable name should be a single word.
Okay.
Your variable name should be a single word. If you see total students, total students, TS, total underscore students, everywhere you see, this is completely okay for me. The reason why it is okay for me, everything is single word. But this is where you will be able to see it's a two words. So it will not understand 75 should I assign to total or 75 should I understand to students. See, we are telling that Python is good. That doesn't mean that we have to take a over advantage of the tool, right? We cannot take a over advantage of the language. It's a language. So whatever we have to have a process, we have to assign it, right? So if you see here, everything else will work properly. Everything else will work properly, and you go and see it, everything will work. Okay, this will work, and you assign this one, you print it, everything will work. TS also you gave, that is also your wish. You give, everything will work, but what will not work is total students equal to 75. This is what it says, that it is a invalid syntax, because I've clearly told you your variable shouldn't be a single word. Okay, your variable should be a single word. At any point of time, you can never add space between the variable names. If you really want to give this as a total students, one thing I'll give an idea is put one underscore. Put one underscore. So underscore will work. Underscore will work. Okay, this underscore is actually a special character. The one you see on your numbers, right? In your keyboard, you see on top of numbers, you have the special characters. You have to press the shift and you have to do this, right? Now, if you see here, this is a underscore. Similarly, underscore is a special case, but can I use any other special case? Not working, working. Okay, that means we need to understand that only one special character that can be assigned between the variable names is underscore. I don't know what special is there in underscore. Everything else I tried. All the special characters I've tried, it is not taking. The only one special character it is taking is underscore. So let's make some notes. Let's make some notes. Okay. So now variable name should be single word. Variable name should be single word. And another thing is variable can have only one special character allowed for naming. Who is that special?
Underscore.
Underscore.
Okay, underscore. So this is the only one thing which is allowed. Rest of the things we tried, it is not taking. Okay, but this is the only one thing which is allowed. And if you see any other special characters, I can simply say not allowed. Not allowed. Okay, so only one special character is allowed, which is underscore. So anytime if you want to give any naming, see, you could have given A, B, C, D, but end of the day, I need to have some readability. Day one, we discussed Python is very suitable for high level language. What do you mean by high level language? Something which is readily understandable by humans. It is called high level language. So I would say that this is not allowed. Not allowed. Okay, remember this. Okay, now let's get some examples for you to figure out whether this it is possible or not possible. Okay, now students 75, is it acceptable?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Is this acceptable?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it will.
Is it acceptable?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, this is still acceptable. Okay, let's still acceptable. Is it acceptable?
No.
Why?
Special
Percentage
character.
symbol is there.
Special character
Special
percentage.
character is there.
Now
No.
Not allowed.
No.
so are you getting the difference? The only one thing which is working is underscore, and you can give it in the front, you can give it in the last, you can give it wherever you want, it will work. Okay, now let's see few more examples. You all know this person, so it's assigning the value the values assigning. Maybe for all this example, we are assigning some numbers, but this time I'm assigning some sentence itself. Okay, so the best finisher I'm assigning to a variable called Dhoni. Okay, now is it acceptable? Yes. Okay,
Yes.
now next one, Dhoni 7 will work. It will work.
Yeah, it will.
No.
It will work. Okay, now
Not.
not work. Okay, so I started with Dhoni, the best finisher. Again, I gave underscore Dhoni, best cricketer. It worked. Dhoni 7 also worked. Dhoni 7 also worked, but 7 Dhoni is not working. So that means something is wrong here. So let's go and make some notes. So the next notes will be, the name of the, the name of the variable cannot
With a new one.
start with a number. Okay, so whatever I'm doing it, the experiment, I'm making some notes. Okay, this should be your understanding about the variables. Okay, so try to understand. It can end with number. It can end with number, but any point of time it cannot start with number. Okay, now let's see who can answer this question. Will it work?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
Will this work?
Yes.
Yes.
Will this work?
No. Yes, it should
Yes.
work.
Yes.
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 Perfect. It's working. Okay. Now this one,
No.
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 it's the it's underscore is allowed, right?
No.
It starts with the character.
Number is
Right?
there, right?
Start with the number, right?
But variable name should not start with numeric.
Okay, so it will start, it should not start with a number, right? That's what we have already given. The name of the variable cannot start with a number. So all this what you see is actually the naming conventions that you can give. Okay, you can have like this also. Dhoni 7 player equal to captain. You can have this. Okay, this will work. But instead of that space, you can also have the, instead of that number, you can also have the underscore. This will also work. But when it will not work is if you use any other special character, or if you are writing a number in the beginning, that will not work. So that one you need to remember. Okay, so this is about the variables that you need to keep in mind before naming it. See, you can give ABCD, okay? You can give ABCD, but let's try to be professional. This is a high level language. Tomorrow, if anyone is actually going through your code, they have to understand what you're doing. So by naming all these total students or students, you will be able to make the others understandable. So that's where it becomes a high level language. Okay, so that's where it becomes a high level language. Now, here we have assigned total students. We have also assigned Dhoni, right? We want to see what is a data type for this. We have to see what is a data type for this. When I want to see the data type for this, data type means what value you have stored there. Data type means what value you have stored there. That you can easily figure it out. Okay. Now what I've done, the first keyword that you have already learned is print. Whichever is in green color, it is actually a keyword. Keyword means it will be having certain rules that it has to execute. Similarly, what I will do is I will go and take this and I will say TYPE. If I write type, it's actually showing a green color. That means it's a keyword. Now I'll go here. Now I'll go and assign it. Now you can see that the value which I have stored in the total students is an integer. Python is a bit lazy language. It will not give you the full words. INT stands for integer. INT stands for integer. Similarly, here also, I will go and say, what is a type of this? What value is stored here? TYPE, type of this. And Python is a lazy language. It will not tell it is a completely a string. It will tell str. So the second keyword that we have seen today is type. The first one is print. Print will actually print the elements what you have assigned, but here what you are doing is a type. Type means what type of values that we have stored there that can be fetched out here. Okay, which is nothing but type. Now suddenly why we again came back to the keywords is one more thing is I cannot assign this to I cannot use keywords to assign a number or value. This is also prohibited. I will not allow this. You give any name, I'll adjust it. But you give a underscore, fine. It becomes a new word. Or you give type underscore, fine. But you try to give a key value, in that case, we are not going to allow. Your keywords cannot be your variable names. Okay, your keywords cannot be your variables name. I would say that don't use. I'm saying why I'm saying don't use this. See, there is a two statement. Okay, we cannot use keywords for variable names as a different statement. Don't use keywords as a different statement. Why? Because it cannot create means you should throw an error. But what happens here, right? It will not throw error here. It will not throw error. It will assign. The keywords, your value is getting assigned. The hello world, it is actually getting assigned to where? It is assigned to a type. How come? Then let me go and print it. Print of type. It's working, no? It's working. The hello world is assigned to 52. That is a type. And if I'm going and printing it, it's actually assigned. Right? It is getting assigned. That is why I have given you a different statement. Don't use, I'm telling. It is possible to use, but don't use. Why I'm saying don't use is there is some functionality that is written for type. Type, if I give, right? If I give type means what happens? Some functionality would have been written. It will give the data type. But now what is happening? In the type itself, we have written a value. So that means if I want to see a type of type, now it will throw error. It will throw error. Actually, the functionality of the type, right, that itself is overridden. What type was doing? It was actually giving the integer data type, right? It was giving a string data type. There was some functionality written. That itself we have overwritten. We know that variables can be overwritten. Once you assign a equal to 20, the next time you give a equal to 20, 20 will be overriding the a. Same way, we have done it. We have overwritten the functionality of the type. Now type will never work. It will never work. Here it was working, right? Type of total students, it was working, right? The same code I'll write once again now. Now it will not work. How come 50 was working? 55 is not working? Because I have overridden the functionality. So that is why now if I go and write type of students, this type functionality itself is being removed. So it will not work. So that is why I'm saying it will allow you to assign it. But the statement is I'm saying don't use the keywords I'm saying. Is that clear? You are not supposed to use because it will override the functionality. So don't override the functionality. Those people have already defined it and they have kept it, right? So please don't override it. Are we good? Yes?
Yes, Santosh.
Yes,
So,
Okay.
if by mistake we use that variable, sorry, that name type
That's all now.
as a
It's
variable.
gone. It's gone.
So,
The type
how
functionality is
how
gone.
to, how
Now
to
what
undo this?
we can do is I need to flush out all the variables. Okay, I need to flush out all the variables. In order to flush out all the variables, let's go to kernel and let's go to restart. Okay, let's go to restart. If I go and restart, it will clearly ask a message. Do you want to restart the current kernel? All variables will be lost. Okay, I'm okay with that. Now I'll go and restart it. Now every variable's value will be flushed out. So nothing will be stored here. If I simply go and write print of A, it will not be there. So every value is flushed out. So kernel restart will actually restart the complete notebook. And again, you have to write from the beginning. Okay. Again, you have to write from the beginning. And the shortcut to execute is you need not click all this. You can always go and click Control plus Shift. Okay. If you enter this, sorry, it's Shift plus Enter. Shift plus Enter button is there, right? Yeah. So if you click this, you'll be able to keep on executing one by one. So now please make sure that you don't do this. This is a wrong statement. So if you do this, it will go through an error. So I'll comment it. I'll not run it. Again, if you run it right, again, it will go and assign to a type. So just now I have restarted the kernel. Restart the kernel means all the values has been flushed out. Okay. Now this is how you can assign the variables. Now it will tell you type. Now type will work correctly. Type of this means it will tell you what data type is this. It will tell you. Okay, now we are able to execute successfully. Okay, now so far is it clear?
Yeah, so I have a doubt.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. See, so instead of clearing all the variables, can we remove the where
No,
have we
not
used?
possible. You have actually changed the functionality, right? That means what is written you don't know, right? So only that you can do. So the only possibility is you have to flush out all the variables. You have done a mistake that you have tried to override the default behavior of type. So the easiest way is you have to completely restart the kernel so that all the types will be, or else you should be knowing what exactly they have written for this type. That we don't know, right? What they have written for print, what they have written for type, we don't know. So the easiest way is to restart the kernel. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's take one variable, institute. Let's take one variable institute, and I'll say KSR data vision. I'll say KSR data vision. Okay. Now the name is perfect. The name is perfect. I'm able to have this. Now what I'll do, I'll go and print this. I could have actually given A equal to KSR data vision, B equal to KSR data vision, C equal to KSR data vision. I could have given it. But just for that naming conventions and for the readability, I'm actually giving as institute. Now let's see what is this institute type. Type of institute. It will steal str. Str stands for string. Okay. Str stands for string. So here, this is a variable that I'm assigning. You can give underscore, you can give anything, but don't try to give two words. List out all the points which you have learned here. Based on this, you should not you should not give anything else other than this. Maintain this rules and regulations for naming a variable, and that is what I'm doing here. Okay. Now, this is actually called string. This is actually called string. KSR data vision is a string. Now, what I will do is, I will try to write another word. I'll try to write another word. With that, what I'll do is
Yes.
it best?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I will write this. It will still work, right? Now, in the line number 24, I have given double quotes. In the line number 27, I've given single quotes, right? For a string, I'm actually trying to give the quotes. For the number, I did not give any quotes. All these are numbers. All these are numbers where I did not give any quotes, but for string, I'm giving quotes. But now you will have a question. You will have a question. Should I give double quotes or should I give single quotes? If that is your question, will double quotes work or if single quotes work? What we will do is, let's say A equal to Santosh. This is also correct. B equal to data vision is also correct, right? But for B, I'll give single quotes. Now, if you see, if I write print of A also, it will work. If I write B print of B also will work. If I write type of A also will consider as a string. And if I go and give type of B also will go and give string. So that means both A equal to Santosh and B equal to data vision is also correct. That means we don't have any restriction to give a double quotes and we don't have any restriction to give single quotes. You can give anything as you wish. Okay, but what I will not accept is
One single quote on double.
you start with single quote, you give single quotes. You start with double quotes, you give double quotes. But don't try to give this. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. See, you start with single and end with double. I'm completely okay with it. You end with double and you end with double. I'm completely okay with it. And one you start with single and one you with end, that is not something which we will accept it. Okay. So this is not acceptable. Okay. So this is not acceptable. Okay. Now you ask me, which is the best one? Should I go with the single quotes or should I go with the double quotes? If you ask me, my personal experience only I'm sharing. Okay, you use single quotes or you use double quotes. That is up to you. That is up to you. But in the real time, I have faced a lot of challenges. In the real time, I faced a lot of issues. Because of that one particular reason, I will always avoid single quotes. Okay, I will always avoid single quotes. The reason why is ABC equal to KSR data vision. Okay. Now, if I write like this, it will work. If I write like this also, it will work. So it's up to you whether you want to give a double quotes or if you want to give a single quotes, it's up to you, right? But why I will avoid this, I'm telling. Okay, why I will avoid this, I'll tell you. What if there is a statement like this, okay? India's best institute data vision. It will work. No issues. Print of ABC, perfectly fine. But here, if you go and give single quotes, computer will get confused. Your Python is getting confused. It is assuming that this is the start of the string and this is the end of the string, but which is not the case. India's is a, what do you call this? What do you call this in English? How do we write it?
Apostrophe.
Apostrophe.
It is considering like that. Right? So this is a one reason why I will not always write single quotes. So this is fine. This is correct. But what Python is saying is Python will start here and it is assigning here. So it is not at all taking the full words and it is throwing error. So this is not been assigned properly. This is not assigned properly. And that is a one reason why I will always start with double quotes and why I will always end with double quotes. Now, if I go and say, now it will work. So this will not be considered as any start or end of the string. It will directly consider as India's best institute. So this is one reason why I will always start with double quotes and why I'll always end with double quotes. Single quotes means so far it was good. Here also I've used a single quotes only. It worked. But here I did not find any situation like that. But if there is an apostrophe, in that case, this will fail. So that is a one reason why I will always try to give double quotes. My personal experience, which I have faced in the project, that is what I'm telling you. So going forward, blindly go and use double quotes. Single quotes will work, but not every time. Even one time it is failing also, leave it. Let's not use that. Let's try to use. Is that clear? Are we good?
Yes.
Yes, Santosh.
Okay. So today we started with understanding about variables. Why variables? Something I will store it and I will use it for as many times whenever I want, I will use it. For that particular reason, I am actually having this. And for that, there are certain rules and regulations that we have to follow. Variables are actually like a placeholders. Okay. In your kitchen, for every box, you will be like having one, like in one box, you'll have sugar. In one box, you will have you'll have salt. In one box, you will have dal, whatever you have, right? Each small box, think like a variable. Only that component you will store there. Sugar means you will store only sugar, right? So like this, we can store n number of values in variables. You can create infinite number of variables. End of the day, it's all storing in the memory. So why we need this in future? I want to do some calculations. I want to do some logic implementation. I can simply go and use that variables to achieve my results. Okay. And just like that, I would say variables will have certain rules and regulations. Variables are placeholders. It can store it. It is very useful for future purpose. And variables are case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? Capital A and small a are not same. People who have learned SQL, I've told you, in SQL, it was case insensitive. That means it was not dependent on the case here. But here, it is the opposite. Here, case sensitive here. That means small letter and big letter will be valued. And variables names can be varying. That means once you define 50, the next minute you assign 60, it will overwrite. So it can vary. Okay. And as we know that it should always be a single word. If you want double words, you try to give one special character between, which is underscore. Underscore, I don't know what good thing it has done. It is the only one thing which is allowed. Underscore is the only one thing which is allowed. Any other special character, never ever use it. And we also gave an example of Dhoni. The Dhoni example to state that you can never start with a number. You can never start with a number, and that is a says that cannot start with a number. And whatever the keywords is there, right? I'm saying don't use it. It can be used, but it will override the functionality. So please don't use it. Okay. Now this completes the complete topic on variables. So simple it is. 95% of your learning can be done in your class itself. If you just follow the process, Python is nothing. People just exaggerate saying that hey, it is difficult, it is coding, I'll forget it. What you'll forget here? There is nothing that you will forget about variables. This will be like a stamp in your head forever. Such a simple topic. What is there here? You want to store some values for the future purpose? I'm storing there. Where I'm storing? I'm storing with the help of variables. And one more point is your assignment, right? How do you assign the value to the variable? You can simply say that we can assign value to a variable by using equal to. That's what we have done, right? All this is equal to. We have assigned it. That's all it is. Very simple. And we have certain rules. Tell me, this is what we have discussed today. Is it difficult?
No.
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 All the classes will be like this only. All the classes will be like this. We'll take one topic, finish it off. Today we have taken variables. All the scenarios we have talked about variable. And as I've told you, I don't maintain any notes or PPT. All the classes in a KSR is always going to be a practical hands-on experience. So this is what we have done. And in the same editor itself, I have made it as notes. The 7 points, 8 points, if you remember, that's all about variables.
Yes.
Okay. In the next class, I'll give you a hint what we are going to cover. We talked about data types. What type of value it is? It is a string. And this is a integer. Like this, we will see how many data types are there. We have seen only two, right? One is int, one is string. Like this, how many are there? We'll start researching about that. Today we have covered variables. In the next class, it's going to be about data types. Are we good?
Yes.
Yes, Santosh.
Any questions on variables? We can use camel case as a naming conventions. You can use anything. That's what I said. I will be following this one. You can use anything. Okay. There's nothing rule that it has to always start with capital. It has to start with underscore. You can give anything. But only one thing I'll maintain is I'll make sure that it does not have two words. If you have two words, like a last line, total students, try to include that underscore within the naming convention. That should work for you. Are we good?
Yes, Santosh.
Yes.
Is Python easy?
Till now, yes.
It's fine.
It's fine. People who are coming from a non-coding background. Okay. Someone would have told you, hey, Python is very tough. Coding is definitely a tough language. Did you feel that today?
No, Santosh.
No, Santosh.
Okay. Just like you watch movie, first you watch trailer. This is a trailer for you. Okay. But you know what? Every class will be like this from scratch. So on the same particular day, if you practice, it's going to be smooth. This is a mantra. Okay. Today I've taught you variables, right? Today itself, you go and experiment these variables in your Jupyter notebook. You make some notes. You only write it. You will never forget it. Same fundamental only. You practice. That will be easy. The only one way why Python will get tougher is tomorrow we'll go with the data types, right? Tomorrow, if you don't revise and come, and if you ask why we are using equal to symbol or why you're not writing like this, that is where your confusions will start. So if you have that flow, if you have that continuity, if you have the practice, everything is going to be smooth. So practice and come so that we are all on the same page. I've given you the hint also. In the next class, we'll be covering data types. We have seen only two data types. That also with the help of keyword we have seen. Now we'll see how many data types are there, how it is going to be useful. We'll see. Okay. With that, we'll stop here for today. Let's continue tomorrow. So tomorrow, again, the classes will resume at 8 o'clock.
How to save this notebook?
You need not save it. You just need to automatically save it. It's on auto saved. If you really want to save, there is a save button here. Just save it. Give a proper name and save it.
Okay, thank you.
Santosh,
Is
if you have doubts on SQL, can we ask in this same session or?
you can ask in the group. Okay.
Okay.
Our mentors will be there to help you in case if you face any syntax error you can face, because a lot of people here are they don't know
Yeah.
SQL. They have to go back to recordings. So it will
Okay.
be like a fresh topic for them. So you please ask in the group.
Okay.
Someone will help or I'll also pitch in.
Yeah. Thank you, Santosh.
Where can I get a link to the first session?
You will be able to get that in our app. So please go to our KSR Data Vision app, the datavision.com, or you will also be able to get that in the YouTube. The first 5 free sessions we have uploaded here. So if you want, I can show you here. So please log into our website, datavision.com. Okay, you would have created a sign in, or you can create a sign up as well. So let me create a sign in. I've already have an account. So let's log in here. So once you log in here, you'll be able to see all the courses, explore courses, go for explore courses, go for free sessions. In the free sessions, you will see here, we started on 18th July. So 18th July, we started on the session. So 18th and 19th, we had 2 sessions. So today is a 3rd session. In the 18th session, I've talked about why we are learning data engineering. 19th session, we talked about the Python introduction to Python installation. 21st was holiday. And 22nd, we have covered today. So if you go here, you should be able to see all the classes. It's loading actually. So you will be able to see all the recordings.
Thank you.
If not, you can always also get it from our YouTube channel. So first 5 sessions, as we promised, it's going to be completely free. So today is the 3rd free session. So we have completed variables. So tomorrow data types, that will start tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Are we good? You can also find the brochure where what we are going to teach. We can download here. And you can see what are the topics, subtopics that we are going to cover. Even in Python, what we are going to cover, you can always go and refer the brochure. Whatever is in browser only I'm going to cover here. Blindly follow what I'm saying A to Z. With practice, you should be able to master data engineering in 100 days. Okay, with that, we'll stop. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.